Nobody has a favorite tow truck guy. Nobody has a guy that's programmed into their phone when they go on a road trip. You end up sitting on the side of a shoulder of Highway 20 outside Idaho Falls with a dead engine and a phone at 12%. And whoever searches towing Idaho Falls is probably just going to call the first name Google hands them. That's the whole sales process. There's no brand to build, no referral network that means anything at midnight on a highway. Every dollar in that industry is decided by the three results on a map. This one came out of the comments, so we're going to pull up Towing Idaho Falls cold and find out who Google trusts with that call. All right, here we go. Towing Idaho Falls. Idaho Falls. Now, Idaho Falls is just outside Yellowstone, if I remember correctly. Is it? Let's see. Idaho. It does not look like it's out. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yellowstone. Excellent. It's just outside Yellowstone. Yellowstone National Park. Perfect. So driving into Yellowstone, engine brakes, you need a tow truck. All right, so I'm going to ignore the sponsored results. As always, I'm looking for who Google trusts the most. I'm not looking for who's paying the most. Now, here are the top three results: 282 reviews, 93, and 162. They are actually arranged in order of their review strength. Obviously, they have more reviews, but a weaker number at 4.7. In our experience, 4.7 to 4.9 is the sweet spot. If you're below 4.7, conversions drop, and if you have a perfect 5.0, conversions also drop. So all three of these are pretty good there. 4.7 on the low. Hendricks is a little bit too low at 4.6, but again, they're paying for it, so we're ignoring them. So I'm going to do something that no one is ever going to do when they're looking for a tow truck. I'm going to hit more businesses that lets me see more than just those top three results. Okay, and look at this. The fourth result, 308 reviews with a perfect 5-star rating. This is kind of surprising. The strongest review profile, but they're not in the top three for this search. All right, let me start by taking a look at Eaton Towing Idaho Falls. They have keyword stuffed their GBP business name. They put the city name in their GBP. Now, I wish it weren't true, and hopefully soon Google will change this, but it's been true for the better part of 10 years that if you put keywords and city names and things like that in your Google business profile name, you're going to rank better. You rank better when you keyword stuff your GBP name. I wish it weren't true. It is true. Still don't usually recommend it because it does open you up to more frequent suspensions. So you do need paperwork that supports that your actual business name is keyword stuffed. DBA can do it, things like that. But, still a challenge to have to deal with the suspension. You don't want to get suspended and try to get it lifted. All right, let's take a look at their photos. I would expect to see some pretty good ones since they're the number one ranked. Look at the size of this tow truck. I guess it makes sense. Towing RVs. People are taking their RV into Yellowstone, but man, that's a big tow truck. It says Eaton right on the side of it. I mean, obviously, this is a pretty big organization. I mean, I don't know how much this tow truck is, but I bet it was more than my car. Yeah, boy, that's a big tow truck. And then look at this. Man, they're pulling this. Wow. Okay, cool. Love these images. And they got this cool one in front of this fancy building. I don't know what that is. Okay. Yep, a bunch of shots of them taking RVs. I don't know how many tow trucks in the tow truck companies in the Idaho Falls area can handle RVs, but looking at these, you can certainly see that these guys can. Okay, so that's the end of the photos. Personally, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more. I mean, after all, just every time they do a tow job, they can snap a photo, upload it to their GBP. All right, let's take a look at their reviews. 282, not many 1 stars. Let's see if they're responding. They are not responding to the reviews. So a small area for them to improve here. Now, obviously, they're ranked number one, so they're not going to rank higher if they start doing these other things correctly. But it is nice to see. And they're not responding to the negative reviews. They did this one 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6, 7, 8. They didn't respond to that one, but somebody hearted it, 2-star review. Anyway, so you definitely want to be responding to your negative reviews in an apologetic tone, like, sorry you had that experience. That's not how we do business. Please give us a call and we'll correct anything we can. Something like that is the best practice for replying to negative reviews. Definitely something that you typically want to do. The other thing they're doing, in addition to keyword stuffing their GBP name, is that they're open 24 hours. Now, maybe they actually are. For a tow truck, that's pretty common. Google's guidelines say that if you say you're open 24 hours, you should have the ability to dispatch someone 24 hours. So somebody calls you at 2 a.m. needing a tow, you should have the ability to send someone out. Definitely a possibility. Towing is a little bit different. Most plumbers that say they're open 24 hours are answering the phone 24 hours a day, but they're not actually able to dispatch someone 24 hours a day. But this is also a ranking help. When you are closed, you're more likely to not rank. Google favors open businesses, so saying that you're open 24 hours, another little trick to get ranked higher in the off hours, but less effective now. Honestly, most GBPs are saying that they're open 24 hours. All right, they have a visible address. That's awesome. As we've talked about before, service area businesses just don't rank as well. I think it's like Google out to hurt local business owners or something, right? They tell you that if nobody visits your address, then you should be a service area business, and then they punish you for being a service area business. Makes no sense to me, but that's what they do. All right, let's take a look at their services. Weird battery. Okay, towing, motorcycle towing, local hauling. So not bad. It's a reasonable number of them. Some of these, not like large vehicle, light to heavy, light medium. These aren't actually services. Now, we do have to be a little bit careful because these don't always match what the business owner put into Google, into their Google business profile. The only way to know for sure is to get backend access, log in, and then look at the list of services. That being said, these are often pretty reasonable. And yeah, some of these services, like home services, heavy truck, obviously heavy duty towing. Absolutely. We saw in the images, like they certainly check the box for heavy duty towing. All right, let's take a look at their website. What do we have at their actual website? Now, first thing I always like doing is a site colon search. I just like, how big is this website? 33 results. That's, pretty typical size for a local business. And they're in Idaho Falls, which is not a big place. Let me see how big Idaho Falls is. Population, Idaho Falls. So 70,000. That's pretty big. Yellowstone Park visitors per year. With about 5 million people visiting Yellowstone National Park. So this actually could be a pretty big market for towing. 5 million people coming in and out of Yellowstone. They're right outside Yellowstone, and 80,000 people in the city proper. So, okay, 33 results. I guess in my head, for some reason, I thought Idaho Falls was some wee tiny little gas station stop on your way into Yellowstone. But obviously I've not been there, and that's not what it is. All right, let's take a look. Idaho, Texas. Well, okay. Now, I like to see something like towing and the city name in the title tag. They don't have that. Eaton Road Assistance, get expert assistance today. Again, they're ranked number 1, so I'm not going to say they need to change their title tag to rank better. I could run a rank map, and if they change their title tag, their rank map would likely look better. When you just do a city search like I did, Google is going to show you the top 3 results for the centroid area near the city center, not obviously the full rank map because I just did one search. So even so, I'd probably suggest that they update their title tag because that could improve their overall rank map appearance. All right, and then their H1 is Eaton Road Solutions. Not a great H1. And they're also saying serving Idaho and West Texas. I don't like that. So a lot of this is not awesome from a conversion standpoint. We want to use the H1 to, again, reiterate your primary category, reiterate your city location, and then start talking to your searchers, start talking to the humans or the AI agents who have landed on this site looking for a tow in this area. And they obviously have not done that. All right, so let's see what we have right down here. Eaton distance, blah, blah. Okay, so this is good, right? So what we want to talk about here is what is actually a difference, what actually is a unique selling proposition. This is not. This is generic platitudes. Most towing companies can say that. And that also generic platitudes. But their comprehensive fleet, I'm guessing most tow truck companies, most tow companies don't have this level of equipment. So I would rephrase this with almost trust badges and talk about the fact, highlight that they have this level of equipment, right? I mean, look at these images. Like, these are crazy machines. We saw them in the GBP photos. That's what I would highlight. I would also highlight their response time, middle of the night response times, how quickly they can get to you, how quickly they can get other places. Again, these are all conversion related. I'm also looking for GBP review embeds. I'd love to see some more of these reviews, some social proof, some testimonials. And okay. And now we have both phone numbers. Not great. Let's see. Is that 208-317-8787? Same number? It is. So that's positive. Their phone number matches. All right. All right. You'd be surprised how often the phone numbers don't match. Just a generic list of services. Again, like these are not GBP embeds. This would be better if this is a GBP embed, even two of them. And then again, just generic. Okay, so they don't actually have very much on here. So there's some room to improve this 100%. I like to talk about the core services on the GBP landing page. I like to link from the landing page to the specific pages that go into more detail about the core services. They obviously haven't done that here. Let me take a look at what we have. I hate this. I hate this so much. So there are a couple of ways to handle this. One way the worst way is what they've done, where they just threw everything on the nav bar. Not good. One way to handle this is to build a full website, GBP landing page, all the core 30 for each location. They'd all be on the same domain, but the GBP landing page, one would be internal, one would be the homepage. They would look like each other, and then the full core 30 sits underneath them, and then the nav bar is unique to each location. Yes, you do have to do some manual editing so that the nav bar changes on the same domain. A good developer can handle that. The other option is you build a core 30 under each one of the locations, and then the stuff in your nav bar is a third set that's not geographically specific. This is the worst way to do it, but let's take a look at their Idaho services. And it's literally just a list of services. Not great. I'm almost tempted to run a rank map for this business, but let's take a look at the other ones. Let's take a look at the number 4 result. This is interesting, right? Because they have a better review profile, more reviews, perfect 5 stars. As I said, 5 stars typically convert a little bit less, but still they have a higher quantity than anyone in the top 3. Let's take a look at their photos. Let's see if we can identify what they should focus on improving just to get one spot, just one more spot, and the amount of calls they're going to get is going to go up by a lot, right? The 4th spot is the first loser. All right, let's take a look at this is it. Okay. One obvious area of improvement, we want more photos, and we want more photos of them at work. So they have this truck here. They're showing hauling a motorcycle. Not impressive. I'm pretty sure my car could haul a motorcycle. What is this? They're just out in the woods. Okay, cool. So I don't know if they have major equipment, but certainly we would want to see more photos of them in action, of them doing work. What do we have for services? Just battery service. All right, pretty short list. Area call, some weird stuff on here. There's always this weird stuff on here. Okay, let's take a look at their reviews. Do they have any negative? They don't have any negative reviews. All right, that is impressive. Oh, this photo is from the reviewer who put it on there. So that's not even from the business owner. So they have fewer photos than I even thought. Okay, they replied. So they are replying to the reviews. So that's really good to see. Awesome. Okay, let's take a look at their website. Just like the other one, they're using the 24 hours. Makes sense. And again, as a tow truck, there's a pretty good chance that they actually have the ability to respond 24 hours. All right, I'm going to remove the UTM source so I can check how big their website is. What do we have? 72 results. So a much bigger website than Eaton, but they're not in the top 3. Let's see what they have. Okay. So title tag, 24/7 towing and roadside assistance in Pocatello, Idaho. All right, so they aren't in Idaho Falls. Wow, they are. Their GBP address is in Idaho Falls. So this, why would their title tag, so we don't want to do this, right? I don't care what city you're hoping to rank in. In like 99% of cases, your GBP title tag, your H1 should focus on the city that you're located in. You're not going to fool Google into ranking you for a city that you're not located in. Google's proximity is a function of how far away the searcher is from your GBP address, not from the city that you put in your title tag, okay? Here, they've put East Idaho, but in their title tag, they put Pocatello, Idaho. Anyway, all right, I like this, the little trust badge there. Photo of this equipment looks good. 24/7 towing and heavy recovery, that's fine. Awesome. Call dispatch. Voted #1. Love that. It's pretty similar to here, so I'd probably move this down to here. I'd put more trust badges. I'd want to put reviews. Like we're going for as much social proof as possible. Then we have, excellent. So we have the core services, heavy duty recovery, etc. And then we have a link to the specific pages about that. Let me see what this page looks like. I clicked on, which one did I click? Semi-truck towing. So semi-truck recovery services in Pocatello, Idaho. So again, they've called out Pocatello, Idaho, not East Idaho, which they have here. Yeah, and they have the embed, Eastern ID. That's not the city. Oh, East Idaho is the, Idaho Falls is the city name. I see, okay. So they're just saying they're in East Idaho, like region. And what is this? They just put a bunch of random Citygate pages? Is that what this is? They're using Citygate pages. Yeah, they shouldn't be using Citygate pages. Yeah, regional hubs. See, do they have, are these service areas or do they have GBPs in these areas? I think they're just using Citygate pages to try to rank. I don't see any indication that they have an address or phone number in these places. They only have the one phone number and they say main office in Pocatello, so maybe they do have multiple. What's the name of it? Prime Towing? Prime Towing and Recovery. I have to take a look. Prime Towing and Recovery. Maps. Prime Towing and Recovery. Permanently closed. What? I'm so confused. Prime Towing and Recovery LLC. Let's try this again, Google. Here we go. All right, so this is the one that we were looking at. Prime Towing and Recovery. Oh no, that's the one in Pocatello. And then this is the one in Idaho Falls. So they do have a Pocatello location. And Prime Towing Idaho, Prime Towing Idaho, Prime Towing and Recovery, Prime Towing Idaho. This was in Twin Falls, Blackfoot, Prime. Okay, so this is potentially a part of why they're not in the top 3. They haven't built the geographical relevance for their actual locations, right? They do have all of these different regional hubs, 14 service areas and all of that. But they're not building specific geographical relevance for Idaho Falls. So they have, right? So they're using this, their homepage, as their GBP landing page across all of their locations. And when they do that, which we can do, right? The best practice is that you use a different GBP landing page for each location, especially if they're in different cities. But if a client came to us with multiple locations like they have, where they're all sharing the same GBP, what we're going to do is run rank maps for all of their locations. If the rank maps look decent, which this one almost certainly does because they're ranked #4, then we aren't going to move them to an internal page. If we take their GBP landing page and move it from a home page to an internal page, they're almost always going to lose rank. We're not going to do that to a client. So instead, we're going to work to build the geographical relevance on the same landing page. So we're going to list all the locations, all the addresses, all the phone numbers, and then build a core 30 unique for each one of these regions, for each one of these cities, so that we can still build the geographical relevance that we need to in order to get them into the top 3. So I think their fundamental mistake, and you see they have a GBP embed, but it's the different GBP. It's the one in Pocatello, not the one here in Idaho Falls. So the landing page for their Idaho Falls location has a GBP embedded on it for a different GBP location. Can we see how that's a problem, how that inconsistency could be confusing Google's algorithm? Google's algorithm is just math, right? We have phone numbers, GBP embed, all of this for a wrong location when you're telling Google that this is the website for the Idaho Falls location. So we can fix that by adding all of the locations to this. It's not ideal, but it's better than losing rank position by moving GBP landing pages off of the homepage. So that's the approach that I would take with this particular business. Work to build more geographical relevance for each one of their locations, assuming again that they're ranked reasonably well, and then build out a core 30 for each one of them to again build more topical relevance, more geographical relevance for every single one of their locations. That's the approach that I would take. I think that would work really well to get them consistently into the top 3. Not hard, but an improvement on what they're doing now. Just building out that structure. Stop confusing Google. The math just doesn't always get it, right? These are the types of things that you can only see when you have the actual map pack open in front of you instead of, reading somebody's checklist. Every Tuesday afternoon, I sit down with the people in my community and we do this exact thing, but we do it on their sites. They'll share their screens. I look at their Google Business Profile, their websites, their rank maps, the whole thing, and we can figure out what's actually wrong and what to fix first. It's not pre-recorded. It's not generic advice. It's a real diagnosis on real businesses every single week. So if that sounds like something that you would be interested in, the link to join is in the description. There are over 600 people in there now, and they are quietly outranking competitors who spent 10 times more than they have on SEO. I hope you decide to come hang out with this. But for now, let's take a look at one more towing company in Idaho Falls. Now, when I look for the last one, I generally look for one at the bottom of the ranking who has decent reviews. Stallings Towing is an interesting example, but they're located all the way in Rigby, Idaho. That's pretty far away. So they could be not ranking just because they're all the way over in Rigby. So I'm not super interested in taking a closer look at that one. We could look at Top Notch. They're in Idaho Falls. They have 11 reviews. Let me see if we have anything else. Here we go. Let's look at Hendrickson's Towing. 149 reviews, and they are located in Idaho Falls. So why are they ranked all the way down here? They have the same 24-hour open. Let's see what their photos look like. Maybe I overreacted when I saw these giant machines that Eaton had. It seems like all of these towing companies have these. A bunch of photos of them towing stuff, big machines, and that's the end. 100% they should get more photos. They have maybe 20 photos. We really like to see 50 or more, and then we like to see adding them on a regular basis, weekly or at least monthly, adding more. They have 4 services. Oh, they have 4 services. They have 4 services. Why do they just have 4? They don't have anything about heavy duty. They don't have anything about semi-trucks. I don't know, this equipment, I'm obviously not a tow truck expert, but this equipment looks like the same heavy equipment that the other companies have. Why don't they list that they have it or offer that as a service? Huge unforced error, right? This is, fumbling the, whatever, choose your sports analogy, for services. Okay, let's take a look at the reviews. 4.6, that's a hair below what I'd like to see. Oh, this is the one that was running ads, right? They were running ads. Hendrickson's, that's why the name is familiar. 4.6, let's see, are they responding? So here's the thing. They're running ads, but they have 4 services. They're running ads, but they have 20 images. They're running ads, but they haven't bothered to reply to these reviews. Have they replied to their low reviews? No, they've ignored their low reviews. They completely suck. Shouldn't be a business at all. All right. Yeah. Finally, they responded to this review also. Oh, and a nice one here. So they do respond to some, but not very many. They don't respond to very many reviews. So definitely something to work on. Respond to more reviews, add more freaking services. 4 is not enough. Let's take a look at their website. What do we have on their website? I would expect to see a small website. Let's, based on where they're ranked in Idaho Falls. Okay, so what I did here, I did a site:/search, but you can see I left this. That tells Google I want to see all of the pages in this directory folder, and you can see that we only have the one. Now I can remove that and see everything on this site. That's 210 results. Now that's almost always a sign that this is a multi-location business or a franchise, something like that. Let's take a look. Stauffer's Road Solutions. Why is this logo and Stauffer's Towing, but the business is Hendrickson's Towing? That's weird. Okay. And their title tag is not Hendrickson's. The title tag is also Stauffer's. Let's see. Does the phone number match? 208-522. Yep, phone number matches, right road. Yeah, it looks like the address matches too. Oh my God, is this their website? Oh no, this is their website. Oh no, no, this is not, no. And the photos show Stoffers. Do these photos show Hendricks? Yeah, this says Hendricks. Why is the photos on their website of a different company? And the logos and the domain, I'm so confused. Okay, so if you're a regular watcher, I bet you know what. Yeah, are you upset about this too? Are you just gonna leave? You're just so frustrated when you see business websites like this. I feel it. Okay, so if you're a regular watcher, I mean, you know what I'm gonna say. Google needs content. Google needs you to tell it what you do, where you do it. It needs that content to build relevance, to build comprehensiveness. This is not towing near Idaho. Awesome. That's an awesome headline. Just towing near Idaho. Not in Idaho, near Idaho. And then they've just given 5 completely platitude reasons that almost any tow truck company could give, right? No tow truck company is going to say that they aren't these things. Fast pickup, well, we're actually really slow. Quality care, we don't care about your cars at all. Bonded and insured, I think that's required. Highly rated, well, 4.6, that's fine. And then, yeah, okay, 65 years, great. And then this is the extent of the content. So obviously they need more content. They need to build this out. They need to build more topical relevance, comprehensiveness. They need to build a page for every service. I know they only have 4 services. Then they need to go back and add more services so they can build pages about them. This tells me nothing about them. Nothing about them. I can tell you're trying to leave. I'll let you go. There you go. Yeah. He just had enough. He couldn't deal with it anymore. He couldn't deal with it. He couldn't deal with the mismatched business name, the weird black and white map embed that isn't the GBP. It's just an embed of their point. All right, I've said enough. I've said enough. This one, very obvious why they're ranked as low as they are. They're spending money on ads. If I were really trying to add more clients to my agency, I would look for businesses like this. Businesses that just have done nothing right for local SEO. They've just done nothing. It is so easy to give them real results very, very quickly. It's an older business. The website's been around for a while. They have good reviews. The GBP has been around for a while. They clearly want more business because they're paying for ads, but they haven't spent, seriously, an hour, maybe 2 hours would be enough to significantly improve the rank position. They don't need a lot. It's just the basics. It's the blocking and tackling, okay? All right, that's enough. That's enough. I'm done. But okay. All right. That's 3 businesses in Idaho Falls. If you want to watch me do this in a category that it works nothing like towing, go check out the Wallpaper Charlotte episode. Completely different buyer, completely different signals, and the one that came out of the comments, the same way this one did. So go ahead, drop your service, drop your city below. I pull these from what you leave me. See you guys in the next video.